Here's the second part to the test corrections. We are on the last four questions. Couldn't fit them in. That's all right. Number 20, here's our angle, and we need to find x. X is over here. That's the opposite side, and we have the hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse, we would use the sine ratio. Sine 35 equals x over 35. Okay, we want to solve for x. So multiply both sides by 35, and we get x equals 35 times sine 35. For y, we have the adjacent side, which is y, and we have the hypotenuse, 35. So cosine 35 equals y over 35. Solve for y. Get 35 times cosine 35 equals y. Alright. Last three, we want to find the measure of angle A, and we have two sides. Okay, so again, we could use our trig ratios. We know the adjacent side to angle A, and we know the hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse, so we're going to use cosine of the angle, we don't know what it is, equals 10 over 17. Now we have to find A, so we got to get A by itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides by cosine inverse to get rid of the cosine. Cosine inverse over here as well. So we get A equals cosine inverse 10 over 17. For B, the only two sides we know is the opposite and the hypotenuse. So we're going to use sine. Sine B is 10 over 17. And again, we're going to do similar to the last question. Multiply it by the inverse. These cancel. So you get B equals sine inverse 10 over 17. Alright, the last one, number 23, we just have to find A. A is a side, and we know two sides to a right triangle. So, of course, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared, in this case, we could just use A plus 10 squared equals 17 squared. A squared plus 100 is 289. Alright, now I told you guys that you had to write your answers in the simplest radical form. So when we square root both sides, we get A equals the square root of 189. Now you got to think of a perfect square, or the largest perfect square that goes into 189. Okay, so what are our perfect squares? Square root of 1, square root of 4, square root of 9, square root of 16, square root of 25, square root of 36, all those, and the actual biggest square root that goes in there perfectly is the square root of 9. Alright, the square root of 9 we know is 3, and if you do square root of 9, or 189 divided by the square root of 9, you get 21. Okay, so we got 3 square root of 21. That would be the size of side A.